CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Naja Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
And what a beautiful shot. A live look outside. You can see the haze has officially moved out. Clear skies this afternoon across South Florida. Next Weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler joins us now. Cindy, how is the air quality today?
It is good. We're back to normal conditions now, so really a big difference from yesterday. And you're right, Naja, it is a beautiful afternoon here. So this is what we're looking forward to, mostly dry conditions. Isn't this been a nice treat, this dry weather, kind of a preview of what's to come with the dry season? Not as breezy, and that's part of why we don't have the smoke and the haze across South Florida today. Higher rain chances, though, as we head into the weekend. I think by Sunday into Monday we're going to see that. So this is the current air quality. A little bit less unfavorable if you go to the north, but all across our area it's very nice. We got visibility of 10 miles or more, so beautiful conditions out there. And as far as our rainfall, well, we got some showers to the north, but really nothing falling in our area. So with that northeasterly flow, trying to pull in some moisture. Winds right now out of the northeast about 10 to 15, gustier yesterday, and that was because of the pressure gradient was much tighter yesterday, so that's why we got that dust that was pulled all the way down from Canada and pulled across our area. So much better conditions today. Things are all good, but look at the low humidity, 53%, 59 in Homestead. That is really dry air, especially considering we are still officially in the rainy season, but the dry air is still sitting here, so that's going to keep us nice for the next few days. Really not going to knock this out of here until we get into the first part of next week. Temperature right now is 89 degrees, but we did make it up to 90 already today, so that's going to be our high. All the way down to the Keys, 88, 89 degrees in Key West, but because of the lower humidity, doesn't feel so bad. Feels like it's in the mid-90s, feels like it's 91 in Homestead, and right now at Fort Lauderdale, feels like it's in the lower 90s, which I know for some that would be, oh my goodness, but that lower humidity really does make a difference. So if you take a look at maybe a spot shower here and there, again, winds will continue to blow out of the northeast, and there's just enough low-level moisture that we could touch off a shower, but this is not going to be big at all for the next couple of days. Take it into Friday, even into Saturday, still a low chance for showers and thunderstorms, and this is why you still have that flow, but here comes a front. Now that will bring in at least some rising of the atmosphere, some of that air. We could set off some showers, but even into Sunday and Monday, our rain chances are still fairly low. We're going to keep it at about 30 to 40% chance, so there you have it. Trapping in the tropics, we've got still Philippe out there, but no problem there. That's going to continue to track off to north and bring some rain to the New England area, but our temperatures will stay in the upper 80s to around 90 with low chances for rain.
Cindy, thank you. Concerns about climate change often focus on rising seas and warming temperatures, but some doctors are warning about its effect on our health, including migraines and headaches. CBS News Miami's Bradley Blackburn explains what this could mean for some patients.
All right, so just look straight ahead from here.
Nettie Alvarado knows how debilitating migraines can be. She's suffered from them for more than a decade before her daughter was born.
She says, "Mom, you're in your room, it's dark. Are you okay? Like, are you having a migraine?"
Her migraines used to last for days.
Good, shrug your shoulders up.
But she's found relief with medication and help from Dr. Fred Cohen, a headache specialist at Mount Sinai.
It actually eliminates within time. Within the hour and a half or so, it's gone.
Many things trigger migraines, like lack of sleep or alcohol use. But Dr. Cohen says often patients blame the weather, and extreme conditions fueled by climate change are now an increasing concern.
Migraine sufferers are the best meteorologists because when there's a weather system changing, they get an attack.
Weather triggers include intense heat or cold, high humidity, and windy or stormy conditions. Even stress from severe weather can be a factor.
There could be a relationship with more of these severe weather phenomenon that we're seeing both the United States and globally, and an increase in headache and migraine attacks.
Dr. Cohen says during this summer's wildfire smoke in the Northeast, headache complaints jumped.
But treatments for migraines are evolving too, with new approaches and new medications. Doctors can help patients monitor migraine triggers and adapt to environmental changes.
Good. Alvarado says anyone who's suffering should see a doctor and ask for help.
Migraines are not something that you should have to deal with on an everyday basis or even throughout the day.
A health struggle that could be growing with our changing climate. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The American Migraine Foundation says migraines are 3 times more common in women than in men. 1 in 4 U.S. households includes someone who suffers from migraines. U.S. government is in uncharted territory. House members removed Speaker Kevin McCarthy from the chair for the first time. Let's get right to CBS News Miami's Skylar Henry joining us live from D.C. Skylar, there are about 40 days until the next budget deadline. How long do House members have to vote on the next speaker?
And as we're going to be with you, well, technically they could have that vote right now, but we know that Patrick McHenry, the current Speaker pro tempore, the interim Speaker, said that there will be a candidate for him next Tuesday, and then they will try to vote for who will become the next Speaker on Wednesday. But as you pointed out, a very short window that they will have in order to try to find some common ground on these 12 appropriations bills to keep the government open in this long-term stretch. Remember that there was that short-term stopgap bill that was agreed to over the weekend that ultimately cost former Speaker Kevin McCarthy his position as the Speaker of the House, and that was because the former Speaker ultimately worked with Democrats in order to try to get the necessary number of votes to keep the government open in this 45-day window. So not a lot of time. The interesting part of this as well, whoever becomes the next Speaker will have to work with President Biden to try to find some common ground on those spending cuts that they say that they wanted. And remember, there's that Ukraine funding that was out there that was a big talking point as well. We'll see ultimately what they decide.
Skylar, it is now day 1 after the stunning removal of McCarthy. A lot of people want to know what's next for the former House Speaker.
Well, he will be essentially a part of the rank and file that will be a part of who will vote for the next House Speaker. We know that there are some things that we are digging into, especially namely the removal of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, as well as Steny Hoyer. They had some offices close to where they meet on the House floor that they would often go to meet with some of their delegation and talk about, which is just a bit of a tradition in terms of some of the long-standing members of Congress where they would go and meet. We're trying to figure out if the former Speaker is the one who removed them from their offices or if this is something that was doled out by the Speaker pro tem Patrick McHenry. We know that is part of it, but there are a lot of names that are being thrown out there in terms of who will become the next House Speaker. Jim Jordan is a name from Ohio who announced that he will be running today. Steve Scalise, the ranking Republican member in the House, announced that he will be doing the same as well. Kevin Hern of Oklahoma is another dark horse candidate who is in charge of the most conservative caucus in the House as well. He has thrown his name out there as well. So a lot of names jumping into the hat. We'll see what happens when they vote next week.
Interesting times, Skylar. Thank you for your insight. Flood relief is on the way for flood-prone neighborhoods in Broward County. Find out where and what is expected when we come back. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. The field of candidates for Miami-Dade Sheriff is getting larger. John Rivera announced that he's running for the position next year, and today he made it official. Rivera has served as Benevolent Association president for both Miami-Dade and Florida State. His career spans more than 4 decades.
I put away a lot of real bad people, and I help many more good people live, love, and work and worship as they choose. I know the needs of our officers, their families, and their communities, which is a great challenge for the sheriff.
The announcement comes a couple weeks after Miami-Dade Police Director Freddie Ramirez dropped out of the county sheriff's race. Several current law enforcement officers, as well as a former federal agent, are also vying for the job. Danger in Hialeah. A woman was pistol whipped and robbed. CBS News Miami's Peter Dinch has the details.
Hialeah police say they cannot recall a case like this one. The crime was captured on camera. Police say that surveillance tape shows what happened on September 16th at a Hialeah business when a mother and her son steal more than $800,000 worth of jewelry, items contained in a bag, and they pistol whip the victim. Police say the mother and son have been arrested and all the jewelry was recovered.
This mother-son duo, for a month ahead of the crime, planned it, orchestrated it to where the female, Lourdes Diaz, befriended the victim.
Yo estaba yendo para mi carro y él se acercó a mí, encapuchado y con el arma en la mano, y al yo no darle la maleta que yo traía, él me empezó a agredir con el arma. Que tienen que tener cuidado con las personas que se le acercan, que uno no sabe quién es nadie, que parecía una señora muy amable y usó su amabilidad para engañar aquí a todo el mundo y hacer lo que hizo.
The son came before a judge in bond court today and was held without bond. Coming up at 5, we'll have an interview with the victim in this case and police as well. In Hialeah, Peter Danch, CBS News, Miami.
In Broward County, one of Oakland Park's most flood-prone neighborhoods is about to get a lift. City leaders plan to build a new $1 million stormwater pump for the North Andrew Gardens area. It will push rising water underground through pipes into a retention area near I-95 and Cypress Creek Road. It is welcome news for homeowners nearby who see their streets flood every time there's a hard rain.
Of course, it's bothering me because, you know, when you want to go out and you have a small car like my neighbor right there, he has sometimes a problem because, you know, he going to the motor or damage.
Tonight, city commissioners will hear a progress report. Staff says the project could soon be up for bid and construction could begin. The power of CBS News and the CBS News Miami stream are always at your fingertips. We're on Pluto TV and it's all free. Or find us on your favorite streaming device with the CBS News app, then click CBS News Miami. That's your CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami.